Today, I will be teaching on the topic of nothing. That's right, nothing. Nothing can stop me. Nothing can tame me. Nothing will get in the way of me achieving my dream. Nothing. I'm crazy, stubborn, foolish. I got too many people counting on me. I didn't come from the right side of the tracks. I didn't come from the Ivy League. I don't have their education. I don't have their money. I don't have their connections. But I tell you what I got nothing. And nothing is going to stop me. Nothing is going to get away into my dream. Nothing is going to hold me back. I'm going to show you what God can do with nothing. See, I used to think that the world had robbed me of something I deserved. For years, I waited for somebody to put me on, for somebody to see my talent, for somebody to see my gift. They never came. So I got tired of waiting. I got rid of that victim mentality. I stopped making excuses. I got up and started taking what I wanted. I let my blood, sweat, and tears purchase my dream. I got a God worth living for. I got a dream worth dying for. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this nothing that I have is gonna make me. Nothing is going to stop me. Nothing can get in my way. No obstacle, no challenge, no mountain, no sickness, no money, nothing. See, you ain't no match for me, cause you got something. I got nothing. See, my life is Rocky 3, when Apollo takes Rocky back to the gym, where there's no air conditioner, where there's rats on the floor, where it's dark and the sweat is pouring down your face. That's where I'm at right now. I got nothing. Nothing but a dream. Nothing but a drive. Nothing but a God who won't fail me. And I will not be denied. Their weakness is they underestimate me. See, some people doing it for the money. Man, I do it for the lost. I do it for the sick. I do it for the addicts. I do it for those who want to commit suicide. I do it for the divorced, the ones that been broken and shattered into a million pieces. You ain't no match for me. I do it for the nothing, cause I too once had nothing, but that nothing made me something. I put that nothing on the altar and God blessed it. Now the whole world knows that God still moves, and that same God that moved me will move you. Get up, champion. I know you wanna quit. I know you broke. I know you're exhausted. I know you're sick. I know you got nothing left in the tank. Arise, champion. There's a reason they call that a dream house, because first that house has to be built in your mind. You have to dream it first. I'm gonna share with you my secret, the secret to my success. Look, I tricked the world into hurting me so bad that it made me unstoppable. I'm crazy, stubborn, and foolish. See, I'm crazy enough to believe that God still moves. And I'm stubborn enough to keep going even when the world says it won't happen. And I'm foolish enough to laugh at all the mounting evidence that says I'm never gonna make it. See, most people focus on the mountain. I focus on the man who went up on the mountain and told us all, with God, all things are possible. I got nothing, but I'm certain in an uncertain world, I believe that God still moves, because he does. I got nothing. Nothing is gonna get in the way of my dream. Nothing is going to stop me. Nothing. This is Dr. Billy Alsbrooks, and I am blessed and unstoppable. Michael Jordan of this motivation. Via Truth Music. Burning motivational art. Welcome to the Louvre, and to God be the glory. It is written, Matthew 19:26. Jesus looked at them and said, with man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. Every day I thank God for the nothing. I got a God worth living for. I got a dream worth dying for. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this nothing that I have is gonna make me.
True prayer is visualizing, believing, and aligning with God's promises in such a way that it allows those promises to actually manifest. Now, no obstacle can stand in the way of a person whose mind is truly unified with God. Now I have a vision in my mind for the way I want my life to look. And then there's this illusion that doesn't align with that vision. And the war is over these two different outcomes. Now me, I refuse to let go of that one that I'm holding in my mind, that one of being the greatest of all time. I refuse to accept being second. I refuse to entertain thoughts of being second. And I refuse to acknowledge that second even exists for me. I refuse to concede to any other outcome but being the greatest of all time. I did not come to be good at what I do. I did not come to be an all-star, to be MVP, to be in the Hall of Fame. I came to be the best that has ever done this. We give birth to a life equivalent to the mind state that we live through. So I have taken up residency in a place called excellence. And every thought I have, every word I speak, and every action I take is aligned with the vision that I see in my mind. Doubt produces nothingness. Destiny yields to the disciplined mind, so I starve the illusion and feed my dream. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I distort reality, and with my mind, I bend, I shape, I mold, and I sculpt every aspect of my life until it looks like my dream. I'm coming to be the greatest of all time. Nothing can stand in my way. I will either achieve my outcome, I will either reach and obtain my goal, or I will die trying. There is no other option for me. I came to be the greatest, so I will grind every single day until you give me what I came for. Doubt produces nothingness. Destiny yields to the disciplined mind. Distort reality. I starve the illusion and feed my dream. I've been knocked down, I've been knocked out, and I've been written off. And none of that has deterred me from pursuing the greatness on the inside of me. You see, greatness made me, therefore greatness is in me. You said I'd be nothing. You said I was just a dreamer, living in la la land, that my goals, my dreams, and my ambitions only happen in books or movies, that it's not real. But I'm about to give you a lesson and display to you the power of the mind, to show you my PhD in grind, an alumni of Grind University with a major in perseverance. Now there's two things in life. There's the promises of God and the illusions and lies of everything else. And as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord, and I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and I will make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. Now that promise is available to anybody, but the difference in me and the rest is I actually believe that. The only thing that I am second to is God. I get up every day and I dominate. I master the small things, the details, knowing that eventually the big things in life will come bow to me. I am an overcomer. I am a soldier. I am a warrior. I am a champion. I am a king. I am the greatest of all time. You ask me why I'm so sure of my victory. It's because I have fought the battle in my mind 1,000,000 times. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. Everything in life has a required mental vibrational level of thought in order for it to be understood. And to walk in truth is to vibrate at the highest level of human existence. Truth is the couture for greatness. Trials and tribulations stand not a chance against a man who will not quit. I am not scared of the word no. I do not bow to rejection. I will not accept defeat. I am deaf, blind, and mute to losing. Therefore, losing cannot exist. The physical realm always responds and obeys the mental state that you project. I did not come to be good, to be an all-star, to be the MVP, to be in the Hall of Fame. I came to be the best that's ever done this. People told me the dream I was dreaming was a fantasy, that things like that only happen in books and in movies. So I responded by wrapping myself in fire, my passion, and fully committing myself to the vision I saw in my mind. I wrote the book, became the movie, and now I live the life they called a fairy tale, the greatest of all time. This is Billy Alsbrooks, and I am blessed and unstoppable, and to God be the glory. Blessed and unstoppable. Success starts with putting the right things into your mind. And my new book, Blessed and Unstoppable, was strategically designed to align your mind with the laws of success. This curriculum will teach you the inner mechanics required to go from average to phenomenal, from living a life with limits to being blessed and unstoppable. As you follow this guide step by step, amazing breakthroughs will happen. New doors of opportunity will open, and favor will begin to chase you down. Blessed and Unstoppable is a 31-day devotional on the laws of success. This book will instigate the thought process and actions required to transform your life. Each day has a Bible verse, a teaching on that day's principle, a positive affirmation, a prayer for the day, self-assessment questions, success quotes, action steps, and a powerful inspirational message. Regardless of what field you're in, Blessed and Unstoppable is your blueprint for success. Get your copy at blessedandunstoppable.com. Also available on Amazon.